Hi, I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. Now, I need your help. I need you to go to my GoFundMe campaign. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. Go to my campaign and donate to it so I could do the show full-time instead of just part-time. I got a news story for you, and it's from disobedientmedia.com. It's about that the U.S. has a death economy. Right, the ongoing genocide taking place in Yemen has finally provoked significant press attention in the last few weeks. Unfortunately, the media flurry was too late for the thousands who have died of starvation and cholera, thanks in part to U.S. and British support of Saudi Arabia's blockade and intervention in the country. The Chicago Tribune reported that over 40,000 children had died of starvation in Yemen during 2017 alone, according to aid groups. Their estimates are likely not exact, and deaths at this magnitude can be difficult to comprehend. To put this figure into perspective, it is only counting deaths in 2017. It does not include adult deaths caused by starvation. It does not take into account deaths of children caused by cholera. This single death toll is the equivalent of over 800 Las Vegas shootings. But I need to do a video about how the Las Vegas shooting was just the big setup by the deep state. The Independent wrote, the death toll as a result of starvation and disease could be even higher, as the calculations were made before Saudi Arabia tightened a blockade on rebel-held parts of the country in response to a missile fire from rebel territory towards Riyadh International Airport this month. As has been reported by a number of outlets, the nationwide massacre in Yemen has been occurring since 2015, spreading over the course of both Obama and Trump administrations. So you have to make sure that you're not just mad at Trump for all these interventionist wars. You need to be fucking mad at Obama, because he actually talked about how he was going to make sure we're going to pull out of some of these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He didn't do shit about that. So don't be a fucking hypocrite and just get mad at Trump, because that just gives a green light for a Democrat or someone that's a little bit nicer to go and bomb different nations and keep doing all these clandestine operations where they could overthrow fucking governments. That neither Obama or Trump stopped U.S. support for Saudi Arabia's blockade and military intervention in Yemen is a serious indictment against the American two-party political system. Leaders of both parties have happily signed multi-billion-dollar weapons deals with Saudi Arabia. While the bad press surrounding Yemen is deservedly hounding President Trump at present, it is sadly apparent that neither Republicans or Democrats are truly against profiting from death. Alright, and before you go and talk about how, these are just poor and working class Yemenis people that are halfway across the world, who gives a shit about them? I don't give a fuck. I'm just happily sitting in my house with me and my wife. We both got good paychecks. I don't care about this shit. Before we talk about how you don't give a shit about that, we have a death economy here in the United States, because plenty of working and poor people in the United States that don't have health care, guess what? They fucking die when they get serious illnesses. Because guess what? They can't pay to get all these treatments that cost a lot of money, and then they die. So that's why you need to be against all these interventionist wars, because we can't be killing people overseas or across any international borders, so we don't bring that corrupt and horrible shit here. You need to care about people other than your fucking self, because eventually all that terrible shit could come back to you. And if you're high social class, you're wealthy, or you're living life pretty large, by the time all this terrible shit comes to you, everybody's already been fucked up. So there ain't no way we could stop it by the time it gets to your fucking ass. Alright, this one was from a couple weeks ago, but one good thing that's happened since this was written about 2 weeks ago is that Newsweek has a story about 6 days after that came out. 3 planes carrying humanitarian aid and aid workers landed in Yemen's capital on Saturday. The first delivery to the war-torn nation in nearly 3 weeks due to the blockade imposed by the Saudi-led coalition that controls the entry points. 8 shipments were awaiting delivery for several days in advance after Saudi leaders agreed on Wednesday to lift the blockade. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said that despite their approval, they weren't given the green light to enter Yemen until late Friday night, reports The Guardian. So at least a little bit of aid finally got into the nation, so the people could get much needed food and medications that they need. But ideally, this war would end soon, because just a prolonged war in Yemen is just gonna devastate the population even more than it already has.